Hey guys, it's time for another game haul, and it's one of those things. Getting to a full set of PlayStation 2 is going to be very, very difficult. They're just not out there. Certain titles just aren't out there as much as I would like them to be. Or even if they are out there, they're not turning up somewhere that's accessible to me. So it's getting difficult, but we are struggling on. Let's have a look what we managed to pick up. This time, Panzer Front AUSP B. I don't know what AUSP B is. The only tank simulation for PlayStation 2. Be prepared for its explosive Be prepared! I am not joking. Right there. Panzer Front AUSP B 505 game, so it should be pretty good. Right. We'll have a look at that later on, tell you what it's like. But another one that's probably come from the same collection because it came in brought into CX by the same person during the same deal, it seems. Panzer Elite Action, Fields of Glory. So someone's been into their tanks. Again, everything's here, so that looks pretty good. Don't know what these are about. I have never seen these before. That's the beauty of the PlayStation 2 collection. Every time I go out and find some new titles, I'm like, wow, what is this thing? Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not so great. But I always enjoy playing them. Speaking of games that I enjoy playing, Dragon Age Origins Awakening, the expansion pack for Dragon Age Origins, which I already have. So nice to have the expansion pack. Pretty good condition. There is a bit of an issue on the back. Someone stuck a sticker and it's kind of peeled off a little bit on the bottom, but I could live with that. And what looks to be dirt is just stuff caught in old glue, so that'll all come off with a bit of white spirit, so I'm happy with that. Now here's something interesting that I thought I already had. We're going back into the PlayStation collection now. Jen found this in Manchester. PSI-OPS, the MINDGATE Conspiracy. I've seen copies of this so many times in shops that I thought I had it. I recognised the cover, which usually in my head means I've got it. But didn't have it. I've had it in the past and it didn't work. And we couldn't get it repaired. For some reason the disc just wouldn't load in any of the PlayStation. So I thought I had it, but then I took it back and then I've had to get it again. So we got this in nice condition, really nice condition. Very happy to add it to the collection finally. So I actually do have it now when I think I've got it. But here's one that I was looking forward to getting. The moment you said, oh, they've got this, I said, yes, get it now. Fatal Fury Battle Archives Volume 1. Just how many games are in it? Fatal Fury 2, Fatal Fury Special, Fatal Fury 3. So 4 games on one disc. Very happy to have that. All great condition. Oh. Opens a bit far, doesn't it? It's a later release. You can tell because there's no space for a memory card, so the cases aren't as great. When people use them, they wear out quicker, so you've got to be very careful with this stuff. This one, next up, is interesting. It's an RPG that I have heard of, but never played, so I'm happy to have finally added to the collection. LEGAIA 2 Dual Saga. I played it a little bit earlier on, and it's interesting. I enjoyed what I played, and I wish I had the manual to go with it, because all I've got is the advertisement that comes with it, which is, oh well. But it's in good condition, so we'll pick a manual at some point. And then last but not least, one that I've been umming and ahhing over on Amazon for ages. It was £2. So yeah, I'm going to have it for £2. Deep Water. It's not an expensive game, but it doesn't show up everywhere. This is brand new. I unsealed it to be able to test it out and see what it was like. Really fun game. I thought it was going to be like a Jaws simulator, like you play the shark or something. No, you play a shark hunter in some kind of action RPG. Looks pretty good. Played really well. I was very impressed by it, so we will eventually have a review on that on GameHammer because I had a lot of fun with it. Next up we have a silver PlayStation 2 memory card. I'm trying to get an example of every style of memory card for the PS2 because at some point I'll need them. With all these games, I keep every save once I've finished a game or while I'm playing it, so that I can come back to it later, of course. And as a result, I run out of space on memory cards quite often. Got a reasonable sized pile of them up on a shelf next to the Saturn, and I need more. So I'm trying to get one of every example so that eventually when we open the museum, they can be on a little display in a case, along with the PlayStation. I'm planning on this well in advance. This is years away. Yeah, Jen and I think 7 to 10 years before the museum could open reasonably, but we're getting there with the collection. Speaking of adding to the collection, South Park on the N64. It's an FPS, kind of. Looking forward to giving it a try. We'll see how it goes. It's apparently not brilliant, but not too bad. It's like generic FPS style. It's just one of those things. Well, I want a full N64 collection because I actually, even though I had an N64 with GoldenEye and that was it for ages, because I was satisfied with the N64 and GoldenEye, I have started to really get into the N64. I like it. I understand why people aren't too keen on it because basically it's just racing games. Isn't it? Everything got a racing game. And that was the time that happened. So it got festooned with them. Just the same way that PS2 has a load of shovelware because shovelware became the thing to just pile out to get a little bit of cash from little Johnny and his long-suffering parents. The N64 went, right, racing games. But they're actually not bad, a lot of them. So I'm happy to have something that's not a racing game. It's an FPS. Not entirely convinced the N64 is well suited for FPSs. GoldenEye is an exception, but even then when you play it now, it's not as good as it was back in the day, is it? But that's just how it is. I like it though, so I'm trying to go for a full set. Right, there is one more thing. For the last few of these game hauls, I've left the best till last and had a very nice thing to present at the end of the haul. So like we did the Texas Instruments with all its games, and we did the Mega Drive, the original high definition graphics and sound Mega Drive. This time is no exception. I mean, this won't last. I won't be able to present you something amazing every time, but this time, the PlayStation 2 Resident Evil 4 Chainsaw Controller. How cool is that? Everything's here, it's in great condition, and oh man, I love this thing. It's just so good. What can I say? I am so happy. When Jen sent me a message, actually she phoned me and said, down in town they've got the chainsaw controller that you've been talking about for a long time and you've wanted. Should I get it for you, or should I let you come down and have a look at it? So I said to her, I guarantee that will not be there when I get down there if you don't get it now. So if you pick it up and I'll PayPal you the money, which I did of course. So that's what she did, she bought it for me. And as she got to the counter and was paying for it, an order came in for it online. Someone tried to buy it as she was paying for it. So I was right. My paranoia on these things, you get a collector sense sometimes. It's like, that is not going to last. That's not going to be there when I get there if you don't get it. So I'm so glad I actually got it. I've been looking for this for ages, and it's the case with the wire and the controllers in great condition. I am so happy. So yes, there we go. Like I say though, we're not going to have those great hauls every time, but I'm glad that we've got this one while it's here. Anyway, that's all I've got time for. Hey guys, a quick addendum to the other game pickups. So we've seen some good ones so far, and I have to say I was a little disappointed at one point because I had to take back Fatal Fury, the Battle Archives Volume 1. It just wouldn't load. I've got 3 PlayStation 2s here and it wouldn't load on any of them. So I went down to CEX and said, look, it's not working. I can't see any marks on this disc. There's no reason why, as far as I can see, that wouldn't be working. So can you give it a quick clean and we'll see what happens. So they did that. And it still didn't work on any of them. So I sent off for another copy. Got a voucher when I returned the other one and used that voucher to get this, plus a little bit toward another game. So everything's here. And this one works. First time. Just works first time. No idea what was wrong, but there you are. So I've already shown you the clip because I stuck it in the last bit. But the clip, the footage was from this copy because the other one wouldn't work. So there you are. Very nice. So I had a little left over because that one went down in price by £3. So I added a little bit plus some more to get CHOROQ. I have no idea what this is. CHOROQ, no idea. But it's an oddity. It's by Takara, who, if you've been following these pickups, you'll know have a couple of other entries in the big PlayStation set that we've got, and they use the same assets on a lot of their games. It's a car PG. It's a role-playing game where you play as a car and you race. It's weird. It's really, really weird. But it's all here in great condition, and this is the only copy CEX had in the entire country, so I had to have it. The moment I saw it, along with another copy of Fatal Fury, because I did the trick that Tootie always says.
Welcome back, YouTube. I'm Tootie UK.
Find where the game is that you want to get another copy of it, to make sure that you don't get the same one you've just taken back, find something else that is also for sale in that shop where the one that you want is. So I think it was Potter's Bar or something like that. And I saw Fatal Fury and this other game, which there was only one copy of in the entire country, so I thought, well, that is perfect. It's not what I have in the set. It looks like something that I want in the collection, because of course I'm going for the entire set, and I can guarantee if I order both of them at the same time, I'll get that copy that isn't the one that I've just taken back to Bolton. So I did, and they came, and it's weird. What also came at the same time is something that I picked up from eBay, which is lovely. Amstrad Action Pack 33, which has on it a font editor, a grab converter for getting screenshots, and some clip art, which they've listed as fanzine utilities, because it pretty much is. By this point, it's late 1993 going into 1994, the Amstrad CPC scene has changed. A lot of the, in fact, pretty much all of the main publishers have gone. They've all moved on to the Amiga and the Atari ST and the Mega Drive, things like that. So the CPC scene is self-made stuff. It's homebrews, fanzines and things like that. So fanzine utilities is great to put on the cover of the only magazine that's left. This is, which issue of the magazine is this? This is issue 99. Amstrad Action ran for 117 issues, so it's really near the end. So that's nice of them to do that. They were trying their best to pump out as much stuff in the time remaining to keep the scene going. And it worked, because the CPC scene is still here quite strong in 2018. And the game on it is Stormlord, which is one of the best games on the CPC apparently. I've never played it. It's one of the reasons why I picked this particular cover tape. The other one being I'm trying to get the entire set, and that was one I needed to fill a gap in. But at the same time, I really wanted to play this game, so very happy with that. But that's not all, because I popped into town earlier on after I'd been... I'll talk to you in a second after I've moved all this out. I popped into town after I'd been to the Friends of West Horton Station and did a load of work there, so picked up a couple of things. This is a weird thing, an N64 transfer pack. I forgot what it was there, I had to look at it. It's a nice condition N64 transfer pack, basically for transferring your Pokemon into Pokemon Stadium is what I can tell. Don't have a copy of Pokemon Stadium, but getting the transfer pack separately from Pokemon Stadium, for some strange reason on CEX's website it costs less to do it that way, so I'll pick up Stadium at some point. I like my copy of Pokemon Blue and I'm hoping it'll transfer. The other thing I got is an N64 Rumble pack. I've wanted one of these for a long time, so I thought, well, it's there, it looks in good condition, the battery compartment is perfectly clean, I'm having that. Very, very happy. But the thing that drew me to go to CEX after I'd been out doing the volunteering this morning, because I was very tired and I wasn't going to go, was the fact that I checked their website and they had a copy of Zone of the Enders, the second run. Second runner even. This is hard to get. Not because it's a rare game, but because people keep buying it before I can get there. It's all here in great condition, so I had to have it. I had to go and check, and it really is all here in great condition. Everything is just fantastic. So, and apparently, oh my goodness, Zone of the Enders, the second runner, special edition. What's special about it? I didn't realise it was a special edition. It doesn't say it is on the side. Does it say it on the inlet? Oh my goodness, it does say it on the inlet, special edition. Now I've got to find out whether there's another one. That is an interesting surprise. So what's in this that's different to... Yeah, even the disc says special edition, so it's all correct. Oh, right, here we are. Special edition features. The European Special Edition of Zone of the Enders, the second runner, includes new gameplay sequences and polygon demos, a new opening demo, more secret extras, new 3D models, and further improved graphics. So does that mean that this is the only version that came out in Europe? Or is there an original version that this is an enhanced version of? I'm going to have a look at that. Yeah, there's only one release date apparently. I'm not going to complain. I'm happy to have it, so there we are. Anyway, that is all I've got for this time. You never know, I may end up adding something extra on the end of this, but for the moment, that's all we've got. Okay, let's do this quick because it's late. But I was going to leave the haul there, but there wasn't any big ticket thing, you know. So I wanted to find something that I could show you that was good. And my goodness, our local charity shops did not disappoint. Can't remember whether I've told you about this one. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on PlayStation 1. Type of thing that most people would say, well, it's just either a shelf filler or donate case, but I have a plan for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. We've got the PlayStation 2 ones down there as well, so that's quite interesting. What's also quite interesting is the amount of world building that's been going on with some franchises. So let's have a look at what we've got here. Gears of War, Aspho Fields. Don't know what it is or whether it's any good, but nice thick book. I do like my novelization, so I've been looking into these as well as the films. Dead Island, very interesting. Dead Island, the book, very nice. And Dan Abnett is always great, by the way. So Dan Abnett and Nick Vincent's Tomb Raider: The 10,000 Immortals. Judging by the look of Lara Croft, this is the rebooted, second reboot, of course. Second reboot of Lara. So Dan Abnett is a fantastic writer. Just churn out classic, really good literature. I'm really happy to have that. So Dan Abnett, great fun. And also a game book, Doctor Who, Decide Your Destiny, Claws of the Magrat. I do like my Choose Your Own Adventure books. Big fan of fighting fantasy, so a Doctor Who Choose Your Own Adventure book, that's good in my book. It's going to be childish as all hell, but, you know, these things happen. But that's not all the charity shops provided this time, so it's quite interesting because Tom Baker's Ultimate Sci-Fi Quiz. We're going to do a GameHammer on this because it's a game, but it's a DVD. It's a quiz game. But not much you can say about that, but I will be giving it a try. We'll probably do a week or like a special of stuff like that if I can find enough DVD game stuff like that. Then we have, last but not least, Wallace and Gromit's Cracking Animator. Now, this is a Windows 95 disc. It has, let's have a look, featuring brand new animation from the Aardman Studios, which is good. But we've also got a Scenomatic, create animated sequences using characters, backgrounds, props, and sounds from the film. Bottled Feathers. Can you catch the fast-moving feathers in your milk bottle? Probably not. Porridge Preston. Fire the porridge gun from Gromit's plane to stop Preston escaping with the sheep. We have, these are interactive screensaver games, by the way. And then last but not least, the Jam Catapult. Aim the Jam Catapult at Wallace's flying toast to see if you can hit it. So, 3 interesting mini-games there. We've got a Customatic, use your own animations as screensavers, and the Expressionator. Animate the faces of Wallace and Gromit to sounds from the famous films. This sounds like it's going to be 5, maybe even 10 minutes of fun. So, we're going to give that a try. But that's it. The Cracking Animator for £1. I was going to give it a try, definitely. So there we are. That's really all I've got this time now. Okay guys, this is a final jump. This is going to be the end of the game haul unless something amazing happens, which I'm not expecting. So let's have a look at the haul that we have. Well, first of all, I had to get this. Microsoft Flight Simulator X. It doesn't have the manual. I'm a bit disappointed with that, but everything else is here, which is great. Giving you the serial number there. Not that anyone would want to play it, not when Steam Edition's around, which actually has multiplayer back in it, which is useful. Love Microsoft Flight Simulator. I love them all. Have since 5.1, which was amazing. So it's nice to have that to add to the set of physical versions. So what else do we have? Well, this game you can't play. With Flight Simulator X, you can play it. The single player version. It's all there. All of the stuff will work. It's just the multiplayer that's a mess, which is why Steam Edition's there with some enhancements, but mainly putting in Steam multiplayer. This version, however, you can't play. This is a PlayStation 2 online-only game, EverQuest Online Adventures. You can't play this because there's no server left. So one of those things, but it's all complete, and because I'm trying to put together a full set of PS2, I need to get the online things as well. They're pretty much useless unless you can somehow wangle a Raspberry Pi to work as a server and things like that, which some people have done. I've seen videos about it. Maybe we'll try that in a future video, but for now, no, we're not going to do that. One game that does work though is Dodgeball, which was £3 here and there when I bought this copy, but has now dropped to 75p because prices on PS2 keep changing. They fluctuate wildly. Always be aware of that if you're trying to collect. It's one of those things. But this is a brand new copy. I just unsealed it today to get the footage for this video. everything's here as you would expect, because this, like I say, is brand new, great condition, love it. But the main thing that I wanted to add to this video, and something that I've been wanting for a long time, finally decided, look, they're just going to go up and up in price. It's hard to get in good condition. It's hard to get the disc as well, which is an indicator of what's coming, if you know what I'm talking about. So when I saw a good condition version, really nice condition, with the disc in great condition, I had to get the Game Boy player for the Game Boy Cube? No, for the GameCube. I'll leave that in. It's in lovely condition. Everything's here. I've attached the player to the to the GameCube, given it a test. It works perfectly well. All of my Game Boy and Game Boy Color games are here. Hardly got any Game Boy Color, but of course to review them and to show them, I've got to have the player. Also, it does open up Game Boy Advance games, which is nice because I've just been using my DS so far if I want to do anything. So there we are. So, very happy with that. And that is literally all we've got for this game haul video. Okay guys, we've got a few more pickups to do, so I thought I'd just get straight in with them. Now this is a bit of a mixed bag. It's a bit of an oddity because several of these I'd never even heard of until I saw them while we were having a look around some shops. So, Ace Lightning. Don't know really what this is about. You are Ace Lightning, foremost of the Lightning Knights. Dare to enter the Carnival of Doom to find and defeat Lord Fear and his evil gang. Apparently it's a third-person action-adventure. Sounds pretty good, but no manual, so I hope that it works out reasonably well. Disc seems in pretty good condition though. It's a very early one from this blue. BBC Worldwide Limited 2003, so it's not that early. It's kind of around the high point of the PS2, but even so, never heard of it. We're going to give it a try. Probably based on something from BBC. No idea. Next one up is a Pokemon clone. SPECTROBES Origins. Again, no idea what this is, apart from Pokemon clone. Appears to be some kind of battle system game with a lot of extras in it. 3D fossil excavation, drop in, drop out, 2-player co-op. Action game, kids-based action game. This one's an oddity as well. My goodness, the case it's in is mangled, so let's set that straight before I even show you it. DJ Decks and FX House Edition. I have no idea what this is. Some sort of DJ simulator, virtual record box, a full range of DJ equipment, queue up tunes using the track bar or USB headset. I don't know what this is, but because I don't know what it is, I had to get it because that's the beauty of the PS2. There's something for, literally something for everyone. So we'll find out what that is. Now this one is one that the moment I saw it I went, wow, I didn't know that existed, but I want it. Bomberman Kart. Yeah. The only rule is there are no... It says generic. It's a kart racer. It's a Mario Kart clone. Yeah. Really nice condition though. And everything's here in reasonable condition. In fact, it's pretty good condition. Just as a quick addition though, it actually has Bomberman in it. So it's actually worth getting. So give it a try. If you find it around, pick it up. Next up, one that I had to have. I love these games. Serious Sam, The Next Encounter. This is a replacement box. It should be in blue case, but it's in great condition despite that. And everything is here in reasonable condition, so I'm very, very happy with this. I'm going to have a lot of fun playing that one. Let's move on. Road Rage 3. Is this the same sort of thing as Air Raid 3? Because Air Raid 3 doesn't... Oh my goodness, the camera ran out of space on the card there. Road Rage 3. Air Raid 3 didn't have any prequels, it was just that game. I mean, sure, Air Raid was on the Atari, and I believe there was a kind of sequel to Air Raid on the Atari, which had a slightly different name, but Air Raid 3 doesn't appear to be part of that set, it's just called Air Raid 3. So, Road Rage 3. Do we have a game here that's similar with no prequels, because I don't know what it is. So, Phoenix Games, it looks reasonable. Probably not that great though, so let's move on. Strike Force Bowling, don't know what this is. It's a bowling game. Looks reasonable on the back, but then again most of these bowling games on PS2 look reasonable and play like arse. So, all's here, but look, there's an indicator for you. It doesn't open very well because it's not been played much. How about Road Rage 3, similar thing? No, that one opens a bit more. And everything's here as well, but it's got one of those annoying stickers that I probably won't be able to get off. Then, one that, wow, Jen keeps saying that we already had this, but we don't have checked. Shrek Smash and Crash Racing, another racing Mario Kart clone. Decent condition case, but no manual, just a bit of bump in there. The Mistress of Spices. Romantic. The inlay for a Bollywood DVD. Weird. Why? Like, oh my goodness. But the game is there, so that is just random weird. But last but not least from this selection, we have Mr. Mosquito. Been looking for this for years. I saw this first on a review on the Big Breakfast, if you remember that. Oh, wow, Big Breakfast, Channel 4. It was an oddity of daytime TV, but they had a games review section at one point, and they reviewed Mr. Mosquito. So that's late on in Big Breakfast run, because PlayStation 2 was only just out by this 2002. But here we are, which was an oddity. I looked at it on the TV and thought, wow, I need to play that. But I could never find a copy. Never saw it anywhere that I've ever been around it. It's not a huge print run. This is the first time I've seen it, but it's in excellent condition for the case. Sadly, there is no manual. And also, it doesn't open that much. So it's not been used an awful lot. I'm going to enjoy giving it a try though. So that is all we've got for this. There probably will be another, at least one more of these where I jump in and talk about the pickups, because I've got games coming through the post. So I'll talk to you about them when they arrive. Now I'm still waiting on the final game that I've ordered that will take us up to 70% on the games list for the PS2, so we'll bring that in a moment. But I did come across a fantastic deal on eBay, which I think is fantastic anyway, because there's one game that I absolutely needed, and it's only out on the ZX Spectrum. And that's Dizzy 3.5 on the Crash cover tip for January 1991. They are Dizzy 3.5. It's a demo that's an advert for Magic Land Dizzy, but it's part of Fantasy World Dizzy that moves into Magic Land. About 5 screens, I think it is. But it's a demo game, bit like when they did Seymour Take 1, that kind of thing. Only out on Crash, so I wanted a copy because I'm a big Dizzy fan and a big collector for Dizzy. So they are Dizzy, but it came with most of that year's cover tip, so it was a great deal. I had to pick that one up. So we got both the tapes for January. Light Force, Atlantis Hyper Raid, Omega Zone, Top Cat, Swift Storm, my goodness. Specimen, I don't know what, Specimen Hedgehog, I don't know what that is. Narc, I'm assuming the Hedgehog is the, yeah, that'll be the manufacturer because the other ones are there. So we've got Specimen, Narc, Talisman. Then we've got February with Trantor, the Last Stormtrooper, Conqueror, Moron, Loopy Adventure Moron. I don't know what that is. I have to try this. Master Brain, North and South. And then a load of other stuff. It just keeps going. It's loads. And they're all in great condition. Oh my goodness, Dark Star. Dark Star by Design Design. Do you remember Dark Star? I loved that game. It was so good. Also, a demo of HeroQuest on that one, so that's good as well. A lot of good stuff here, so I'm very happy to pick this up. Don't normally collect for the Spectrum. It's not a system that I want to collect for because there's far too much, but it's even more than a PS2. Far too much, and it's easily damaged. Plus, most of it is available online anyway for emulators these days. It's been allowed to be released online as basically abandonware in a lot of cases, so it looks good. And for that sort of situation, why would you go out of your way to collect when space is limited? And basically, I'm an Amstrad person anyway, so that's one of my rules. When I'm collecting, I have rules. One system per generation is the one that I target. So, Amstrad CPC for the 8-bits. And then, it's usually the Mega Drive for the 16-bit era. After that, what do I go for? Saturn. N64, and then PS2. It's how it is. So, those are my rules, but there is one thing with the handhelds, which I treat as separate. Game Gear is the handheld target one. So I love my Game Boy, and Super Game Boy is great for playing Game Boy, and I've got my Game Boy Color and all that. But Game Gear is my system of choice. So I don't tend to go out of my way for the Game Boy stuff, even though if I find a one that I'm interested in, I'll pick it up. Of course I will. But that's how it is. You've got to have rules for these things. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I've got one more game to show you when it arrives, and then we'll be compiling this up, and that'll be good. Right, see you later. Okay, we do have some more games to talk about though, so let's have a quick look at these, with the first one being Great Hastings Tournament Paintball, an Xbox exclusive. So of course it's on the list because we are going for all of the original Xbox exclusives. Great condition, and everything appears to be here, including the little extra bump, which is lovely. It's an old game. It's basically a first-person shooter, but it's a paintball tournament. And I'm not sure why it included the ability to cheat, but it's there and it gets in the way, to be honest with you. Whenever you're shot, everything stops and you have to try and do this little cheat thing, and it makes the game a bit slow. I like it, but it makes the game a bit slow. So, I like the game, that is, not the cheating bit. I don't get the cheating bit. It's just weird. But this one now, gone behind me. That's our next one I want to talk about. Cosmic SPACEHEAD. Been looking for a copy of this for a while because I like this kind of weirdness. It's a Codemasters game on what should be a J card, but isn't because it hasn't got the joystick ports. It's a cross between a side-scrolling platformer and basically a point-and-click adventure game. I don't get it. It's a bit weird, but I like that kind of game. Something that's a bit weird, a bit different, trying something new. So I'm very happy to finally have it in the collection. But out of this little set, the main thing I want to talk about is this. And I have to read the side for it. Tatsunoko versus Capcom Ultimate All-Stars. Basically, Street Fighter versus G-Force. Remember them? Was it G-Force? The weird ones with the bird mask things. It's weird. It's really good though. Loved it. The moment I started playing, it's like, yes, this is the fighting game for me. It's weird. It's a tag team fighter. It's brilliant. Everything is here in great condition. Very, very happy to add this to the set. Manual, it looks like it's hardly ever been used. It's amazing. So I'm very happy to finally have a copy of that in great condition. That's all I've got for you for the moment. Let's go back to whatever I've got next. Okay guys, I'm still waiting on that really nice game that I've been looking forward to actually arrive. So, in the meantime, I've added extras to the collection because, as you guys know, I am aiming for 70, maybe 80 if I could do it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to manage it. But definitely 70% complete on the PS2 set this year, just to try and keep things moving along. Now, that was never a hard and fast rule. I collect because I enjoy collecting. I'm not collecting because I want to get everything as quickly as possible, because I like to enjoy my games, you know? So, there is that. But I like to also have a goal, a little something to aim for. Basically, a case of, well, if you could reach this, that's pretty good. But don't feel like you have to try and go over that. So, it's... how to explain it? I don't want to end up with pressure in the back of my head for my... my personality tends to get overboard on things, let's put it that way. So I like to keep that in check by saying, this is what to go for. You don't need to go past it. So that's at 70%. And with the what I've just picked up, we've passed that now. Not by much, but we have passed it. So I don't need the game that's still coming, which has caused so much trouble. Amazon got involved eventually when I ordered this thing. They said it hasn't been marked as delivered, so don't worry, we haven't charged you for it. And then today, after I sent an email based on that to the person I was supposed to be buying this off, saying, what's going on, can you give me an update? I got an email saying it's been dispatched. So let's hope that it actually arrives and that it's in good condition when it arrives. So that's coming, but it's not needed to get us to 70% anymore. Anyway, what have I picked up? Well, the first thing that I saw, because I was coming back from Manchester Pride today. And had a bit of time to kill before the bus arrived because the trains aren't going at the moment. So I was down at Pride and thought I'll spend the time by popping into CEX in Manchester. I'm glad I did because I managed to find NHL 99. Now this is rare. In the box it's rare, but it's hard to find even out of the box. it's the only EA Sports NHL game on the N64. Now, you guys know I love hockey. Ice hockey is my favourite sport. I absolutely love ice hockey. And to find the only ice hockey game from the NHL ones, anyway, on N64 is great from my point of view. I love those games. It's very much like NHL 2000, let's put it that way. And I wasn't the biggest fan of NHL 2000. My favourite one is NHL 2002. But this is like NHL 2000, a little bit more like it than NHL 2001, let's put it that way. And as a result, it's not a bad game. I actually quite enjoyed giving it a try. The controls are going to take some getting used to, let's put it that way, but we will have a review of it when I do the NHL set. So I'm very happy to add that to the collection, especially since I know a few other collectors have had a bit of a hard time getting a copy of it.
Welcome back, YouTube. I'm Tutor UK.
I just saw it and thought, no, I'm having that right now. So I had a look around with the PS2 as well while I was there, because I want to get to 100% on the PS2 at some point. It's not going to happen anytime soon. I actually expect I'm going to still be trying to get the last 1 or 2 games in 4 or 5 years, because they're going to be that hard to get. I know they are. But anyway, I found USA Racer, and I couldn't remember whether I had this one or whether I was thinking of London Racer. It's basically the same game. Turns out I've gotten both. So I've got a copy of USA Racer to take back to CX and get a coupon. But it's like a voucher for 50p. I'm not going to worry. But there we are. Anyway, here's another one that I thought I had, but had to take a chance on because I had this awful feeling that I've had a copy in the past and it wouldn't play for some reason. So I picked up Elemental Force. It's a 3DO game, early PS2. In fact, it's from 2001. And you know what the 3DO ones are like on PS2. They're not brilliant. The controls, they're still having trouble working out 3D controls. And yeah, it's early in the PS2, but PS1 had been around for a while. People kind of got the idea of how 3D controls were supposed to work. So when I was playing it, it's a weird 3D brawler adventure thing, and I had a lot of trouble trying to get to grips with the controls. I'm sure if I play it for a bit longer, it'll be fine, but for the moment, it's like a curiosity, but it's in great condition. And everything's here as well, so... Oh, look, it doesn't open very much. I'm not the only one that had a problem with this game, am I? So, adding that to the collection is nice, and thankfully, I didn't have it on the shelves. It is one that I've probably had sometime in the past and found that for some reason it didn't work and had to take it back. So I'm very happy to have it in the set now, even if the person on the front is giving me like evil eyes. Like, is that just me? That's what it looks like to me. Speaking of games that I wasn't sure I had, Energy Air Force. Now, I know I've got Energy Air Force Aim Strike. In fact, this came with the manual for Energy Air Force Aim Strike and the manual for this game as well. So I'm happy to say that my copy of Aim Strike is now complete. And it's a decent quality copy of the manual as well. So someone's had both games. They've enjoyed them. And I can't say it's a bad idea to have them either. This is, it's basically an arcade-style military flight simulator and military combat flight simulator. And it's actually quite a good game. I had a bit of fun while I was playing it, and it's all here in decent condition, so I'm very, very happy to add this to the set. New release. That's... who's put that on? I don't know who's put that on, but it's on this next one as well, Pinball Fun. New release, new release. It must have come from the same shop. But this, the moment I saw it, I thought, yeah, I have to add that to the set. Not just because I'm trying to go for a complete set, but because it's pinball. I love pinball. Before I loved games, for video games and computer games, I love pinball. It's one of those early things. It's an early love that has stuck with me. I love the old Gottlieb and Williams and the everything up to the newer ones with the computer controls. I'm not as keen on those. I like one that's an old-fashioned style where everything's right there on the board, you know. But I like my old pinball games. So when I saw this, and it's got 3 different pinball sets on, I thought, I've got to try that. The back makes it look better than it is, unfortunately. It's one of those where it just doesn't have the feel of a pinball table. It feels like a computer game emulating pinball, which is fair enough. And a lot of people like that kind of thing, but I don't. If I sit down to play a pinball game, I want to feel like I'm playing a pinball table. And unfortunately, this doesn't do that. It's gone too much into yeah, it's a computer game, so we can do what we want. Not my kind of thing. And it's unfortunate, but that's how it is. So, there we go. Pinball fun. And again, it's all here in decent condition. So I'm very, very happy to add it to the set. But sadly, I was hoping for a bit more. Or at least something that was a bit more in keeping with my style of gaming. And it's just not to be. One of those things. Anyway, now that I've given you all that, I've still got that one game coming, which I'll talk about once it arrives, and I'll add a section in here. This is out of joint with everything else, as has been for this entire video. I've got Jen here because we are both very happy to finally have this in our collection. We've been looking for it for a while. Now, I ordered this game 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and it was a big issue. The seller on Amazon didn't respond. And Amazon got in touch with them, and I got in touch with them. And finally they responded saying the reason they hadn't sent the game out that we'd ordered is because they couldn't find it. But they had found it by then, and they were sending it with an apology and a little extra something in the package, which I didn't ask for at all. I'm very grateful, but I hadn't asked for it. But it's finally here. So, he sent Dance UK in the package, which is a really, really nice copy. I mean, it's all...
That may actually be in better condition than the copy we'd already got. In fact, we got several copies. It's not difficult to get a game.
It's even got the extra bumper, so you can see the white bit there.
So yeah, actually that looks like that's probably...
That may be in pristine condition.
It's not hard to get game.
Not anymore, I've just dropped it on the floor.
It's not hard to get game, but it was given as a freebie, so you can't complain.
Yeah. And he also sent Mini Desktop Racer. This is hard to get.
Really hard.
When I opened the package, my jaw just dropped, saying, my goodness, what's he doing? So thank you very much. Because, wow, you didn't have to do that, but it's essentially brand new. It doesn't even open very well.
It's still got that new game feel to it.
It does. The case is smooth. It's definite new game feel. But let's talk about the actual game that I ordered. Let's talk about what we're here for.
Yeah, this is actually a really hard to get game. We've been looking out for this since the start of collecting, because it's one of those weird titles that catches your eye, and it's just never been in stock in CEX.
So, the Bible game. Finally got a copy of the Bible game. It's the Italian version, Gioclo della Bibbia. I am terrible with Italian. I know very, very few Italian phrases. This is still sealed. It's not been played. It's still sealed. It's got the Sony seal on it. So, we're about to open the Sony PlayStation 2 seal for the first time on a brand new copy of the Bible game.
There's a lot of people going to hate you for this.
The people do hate me for opening these things, but here's the thing. My collection is to be played. Games are to be played. I will open a game. I've got the Italian seal on the back.
And the thing is, you just can't find copies of this. So, you know, if we'd have got an unsealed copy, we'd have been happy. But this is what was available.
Everything's here.
Well, of course it is. It was sealed.
Manuale di istruzione. Instruzioni.
That would be instruction manual, but in Italian. Is it actually all in Italian, or is there other languages in there?
The entire thing is in Italian.
That's quite a chunky manual.
For a game of this age, 2006, it's about the right size manual, to be honest with you. It's not too thin, not too fat, but there we are.
Just hope it plays in English. It probably should do, because why would they code up different languaged versions for different...
They don't. Generally, it's because it's the PAL region, they just have them all. I'm trying to put something in the bin there. Because it's the PAL region, generally what will happen is there'll be a language selector, like with the French Kokoto fishing one. On Rule of Rose, that had a language select. Most games have. But because this took a while to arrive, we have picked up a couple of other things during that time. So we have another game here, WIPEOUT 64 and N64. Really, I love this game. It's really good fun. It's called a hidden gem on Retro Collect, and I agree with that because it's a very, very good game. I put it in to test it and spent the next hour playing it. It's that good. But it's not the only one, because we also ended up with Powerpuff Girls Relish Rampage. Now, this is not that great. It's generic 3D kids game.
Yeah. I spotted it actually, and you had to go and pick it up from CEX in Bolton.
Yeah, because she can't walk at the moment.
No, really struggling.
Yeah.
But I spotted it. We always tend to. There's a way of setting it up so you can pick which shop you check their specific stock. So you can actually tell if it's worth going to a CEX before you make that journey.
Yeah.
So, for example, I had a look at what the CEX in Denton in Manchester had, and they don't have any PS2 games. So that would have saved a wasted journey had we been looking to swing by there.
Yeah, because PS2 is our main collection. So, decent condition case, no manual, but the game itself is in decent condition. So, that sums up our current collection. So, back to the other video for the finale. But now that we've got that one out of the way, I want to talk about where we are with the collection. So, as you guys know, I'm going for a full PS2 set. And with all of these and that Bible game, we're now at 70.19%. So I got 70% for this year, which was the aim. Very happy to have done that. It means that we've got a lot of great games here. It also means that I've got years and years worth of reviews just here at my literally at my fingertips. I can pull out some ridiculous games or pull out some great games, and we've got a range of different stuff. So I'm really happy to say that we will be able to review games and do GameHammer for years to come. That is the intention. I'm very happy to do that. What are the other collections like? Well, Super Nintendo, we've just done a recent collection review, and it's not huge. Mega Drive is the same, not huge. N64 is not huge, but I am happy to say I've got one of the harder to find cartridges there, so that makes things a bit easier. I mean, it's not, what is it, certain. It's not Snowball Kids 2 levels of rare, but I'm happy to have it in the set. And that collection, which I'm trying to go for a full set on N64, but it's a background thing. So I'm picking up titles at the moment. I'm picking up titles that I want to play, rather than, oh, I've got to have that, I've got to have that, I've got to have that. Maybe that'll happen in the future once we get nearer to a complete set. We're nowhere near it. I think we're about 13-14% on N64 at the moment. So there's no chance of running out of games where I just pick it up because I want to play it. But eventually we'll get there. The other one is we're going for a full set of the original Xbox exclusives. Not the full Xbox set, because why would I replicate what I've got on the PS2 unless there's something different in the Xbox version, like it's expanded or it has some kind of extra thing in it. Then the only ones I'm going for are the exclusives, and we're at 55% on the exclusives. So I'm doing decently on that one. The big ticket items on that are unfortunately still not in the collection. I do not have Steel Battalion. I will eventually get it, but it's like 200 quid at the moment, and I've got nowhere to store the controller, and it doesn't even come up in the shops anyway. So at some point we'll get it, but I think that is going to be the last one we pick up and add to the set for that one. Game Gear, it's stalled. I haven't got a Game Gear that works at the moment. I've got to get them recapped, and as a result, it's not even like I could play the games if I was buying them. So I'm one of those people where if I buy a game, like these ones that are here, I buy them because I want to play them. And buying the Game Gear cartridges, when they're going to be out there in a few months' time, once I've got the Game Gear again, when I've got the Game Gear working again, that's what I mean, then why buy them now? It's not going to change much, so I'll put them aside. I'm not one of those people that just buys things even though you can't use them. I'll wait until I've got them. Anyway, that is the situation with the set. This has been a bit of a rambly video and lots of chops and changes because it's been built up over time. I'm not sure it's a style that I like, but it does mean that I can tell you exactly where, when, how and why I picked these things up, which is what I want to do. I don't want to be one of those channels where you just have a person sat in front of a camera saying, pick this up, pick that up too. I don't see a point to that. I was watching a live stream, and I can't remember the name of the live stream. I'll put it on the screen.
Welcome to Sega Sessions. We have 4 viewers, at least somebody's here.
Pete on a retro tip was saying, I can look up a list of games on the internet. I don't need a video to do that. And it's true. I want to be one of those people that tells you a story and makes it more of something that's interesting to watch. Because I get these games because I like them. and I love games, and I want to talk to you about games, and it gives me a chance to show a little clip of it and tell you my initial impressions of them, things like that. That's what I want for these videos. That's the style I'm going for, and that's what I'm going to be focusing on from now on. Not focus on it entirely. GameHammer Daily and GameHammer and everything, CPC and all that are still happening, but when I'm doing pickup videos, I want to have a reason to talk to you about these games. And I think that's the style I want to go for. But I want to know your opinion. Is that the kind of thing that you want? Because I do want to make a video that you guys want to watch, you know. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comments, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, that's all I've got time for now. I'm exhausted. Pride was a long one. It was brilliant, but I'm tired. I'm going to bed. See you next time. Bye.